2021.
This is a special edition of Sunrise, live across Australia.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Weekend Sunrise. Thank you for your company today. It's the end of a royal era this morning with the death of Prince Philip, the man who has been by the Queen's side as her husband and consort for an astonishing 73 years.
It is a remarkable love story that played out right to the very end with the couple at Windsor Castle when the Duke of Edinburgh passed on Friday morning in London, early evening on Australia's east coast.
Crowds have been turning up to the royal households. This is a live shot of Buckingham Palace where people have been leaving flowers in tribute. This morning, leaders all around the world are paying their respects to the Duke, who had an indelible impact on the royal family and on the Commonwealth. He was no frills, no fuss in life and in death as well, making it clear that he wanted a private funeral and did not want his body to lie in state.
World leaders, including our Prime Minister, are this morning paying their respects to the Duke. His passing follows a series of very serious health issues for a man who will be forever remembered as a champion of the Commonwealth.
For more than 70 years, Prince Philip has been the Queen's constant companion in duty, tradition and love.
I think Prince Philip, as the Queen's consort, was her strength and stay. He was essential, really, for her to carry out her job in the way she was able to do it. It's a partnership, that's what it was.
Philip was born in 1921 into the Greek and Danish royal families. His family was exiled from Greece 3 years later. He spent time in France and Germany and then Great Britain, where at 18 he joined the Navy. He first spoke to 13-year-old Princess Elizabeth during a royal visit to a naval college. They kept in touch over the subsequent years and fell in love. After getting permission to marry in 1947, when Elizabeth was 21, the pair became husband and wife.
Philip and the Queen is a real love story. I mean, 70-odd years married. They're an incredible double act. When they first met, it was love at first sight, certainly for the Queen, and she has never really looked at anybody since.
The royal newlyweds shared their joy with the crowds at a balcony appearance at Buckingham Palace.
Before long, the calls of the people were answered as onto the famous balcony came the bride and bridegroom.
A year after the wedding, Charles was born. The couple went on to have daughter Anne and later Andrew and Edward. The royal parents were thrust into the forefront when Elizabeth's father, King George VI, unexpectedly died in 1952. Elizabeth became Queen and her coronation was in June the following year. Her husband Philip swore allegiance. Despite living in the shadow of the Queen, he became her rock.
He has quite simply been my strength and stay all these years.
She said he doesn't accept compliments very easily, but he will be remembered in many years to come for what he achieved.
Among those achievements, Philip was patron to more than 800 organisations across the Commonwealth, including his flagship Duke of Edinburgh Award.
Children come into the world completely ignorant and with no experience. At least this gives them some idea of what life is like.
What you can achieve if you set your mind to it.
Prince Philip dedicated decades to his royal duty. Since 1952, he's undertaken more than 22,000 solo official engagements, as well as countless others at the Queen's side.
The Duke of Edinburgh is quite a robust character. He often put his foot in his mouth. He said things in public that maybe he shouldn't have done, but he was from his age, and in private he often made the Queen laugh out loud. So they loved each other.
Over the past few years, the Duke of Edinburgh has stayed largely out of the public eye. He retired from official duties in August 2017, his last official engagement, a Royal Marines parade. Philip was last seen during a military ceremony at Windsor Castle in July 2020, where he and the Queen were shielding during the coronavirus pandemic. A photograph marking their 73rd wedding anniversary was released in November. And the pair received their first COVID-19 vaccination in mid-January. A month later, on February 16, Prince Philip was admitted to hospital for an infection and also underwent a procedure for a pre-existing heart condition. It was to be his longest ever stay in hospital at 28 nights.
But the Queen, to reign for as long as she did, to have travelled the world, which can be a lonely place on your own if you're travelling, and meeting all these dignitaries and meeting everyone from Mandela to JFK, having serious conversations with them. You know, I think that she couldn't have really done it without him.
Prince Philip requested that people not make a fuss over his funeral. He'll be buried in Frogmore Gardens on the grounds of Windsor Castle. It's expected the Queen will now enter an official 8-day period of grief. But after a lifetime together, Prince Philip's death will leave a heartbreaking and irreplaceable gap for the monarch.